What's up, guys? Rogue Scrubs. So today I'm going to bring you an update on my Salamangreat deck list. The deck recently got hit on the ban list, so I figured I'd do an update for the channel. Not the most budget-friendly deck, I know, but just figured, hey, why not do an update on it? Because I've been doing really well with it, and I figured maybe you guys would like to see it. I actually won 2 World Celebrations with a slightly different version of this list because I had to change it for the World Celebration event, but that's besides the point. Um, and yeah, we'll get right into the list. So starting off with monsters, of course, one Gazelle. Really unfortunate that this card is that one, but it had to happen. We all knew this deck was going to get hit. Um, so because of that, you have to play 3 Spinny, and 3 Foxy is mandatory now. Before, people would only play like 2 Foxy or 2 Spinny, but now they're really mandatory at 3 because you need to be able to make a rank 3 like Mirage Stalio and summon the Gazelle out of your deck. Basically, yeah, rank 3s are really, really the way to go for right now for the deck. Rank 3 Turbo. That's pretty much what the deck is. And then for the last of the Salamangreats, I actually played 2 Jack Jaguar just because I felt like it's nicer to have because if you draw it, you don't always have to send it with the Gazelle. You can send something else with Gazelle, like a trap, to interact with your opponent more often than not, which is really, really hard to do now because you don't always open the Gazelle with Spinny, so you always will have to either send a level 3 extender or the Jaguar with the Gazelle to be able to do the full combo. So, yeah, that's something playing 2 Jaguar does. 1 Falco and the 1 Foul. I've been debating cutting the Foul. I really am not as big as a fan of it anymore as I was back when Gazelle was at 3. Kind of because this card does nothing on its own. If it's the only Salamangreat you open, it's kind of terrible. I mean, like, you can say the same thing for Falco, but Falco has different utility. I still play it though because it does lock down back row and it has some really cool combos you can do with Falco, where you can like bounce this special Falco and then reveal this to summon it, and it locks down back row. But other than that, you don't really have the opportunity to make the rank 4s as often anymore, so that's part of the reason why I've been debating cutting it. But I still play it. I still think it was fine because Dweller is still pretty good against certain decks. So yeah, 1 Debug. I feel like you have to play these or play this because Gazelle's at 1, as unfortunate as that is. 3 Buffalo, I think this is another mandatory 3 of. Usually, I used to only play 1 of it, but now that Gazelle's at 1, I think you have to play 3 because you need to be cycling through your cards, drawing them all, and getting to all of them as fast as you possibly can. You used to just play 1 because you could just search it with Sign of Mining when your hand is already busted, but now you need it more to draw your traps, draw your hand traps, just so you can have interruptions for your opponent's turn. And then the only extender I play is Backup Secretary. I think this is the best one over Reclusia, the Psychic guy, and Sea Archiver. Sea Archiver is an amazing discard off Sign Up Mining, don't get me wrong, but I just like Backup Secretary more because I feel like Sea Archiver isn't good for the same reasons that Reclusia isn't good at times, because Reclusia requires you to have the Link monster to summon it. So if you open like Foxy and Reclusia with no other Salamangreat card, it's pretty bad. And if there's just a bunch of other reasons. If you open like Reclusia in this, it's not really that good either. Whereas like you can either special this to make the Salio, or discard this to draw the 2 cards with Buffalo. But Reclusia does none of that because it's not a Cybers. So that's part of the reasons it's not that good. And Sea Archiver has the same problem with Reclusia, I think, is where you need the Link monster for it to be good. So if you open like Sea Archiver Foxy, he's not as good. Or Sea Archiver Buffalo. But still, I think Backup Secretary is the best in my opinion. If you like something else, go for it. Do whatever you want. I don't really care. And then for the hand traps, I know you guys aren't going to like this one, but I played 3 Phantasmes. You don't need these. I just played them because I liked the card. I bought it and I wanted to play it. Basically, if you wanted to replace these, just replace these with more extenders, like more Backup Secretaries and an Upstart Goblin, or more traps, just whichever one you really feel. If it were me, when I didn't have these, I played more Backup Secretaries and an Upstart Goblin, or even a Foolish Barrel if you want. But yeah, that was just me. So do what you want. You can even play more hand traps if you want, because this deck needs to play a lot. And then 3 Ash. I only played 2 for the World Celebration event. I know. And then 2 Ogres and 3 Veilers. I really do like the idea of 3 Ogre in the deck because of Guard Dragons, but I don't like it at the same time because Ogre is a hard once per turn hand trap like Ash, and I hate seeing multiples of those in my hand, turn 1 or turn 0, because it's really, really annoying. I know you're gonna say like, well, you're playing 3 Ash, but like Ash is really crucial to this deck because you can keep adding it back with Sunlight Wolf over and over again. So like that makes sense to play 3 of it because you want to see it. Um, and Valor you can use multiple times in a turn, but Ogre you can't. And probably a dumb ideology, but I only play 2 Ogre just because I hate opening multiples of the card. But the card is really good this format. For some reason, people think Pendulum is good, and it hits Ogre and that literally just ends their turn, or it hits Electromite and that ends their turn. And then it's also good against LP because you hit LP and that usually ends a lot of people's turns because LP is a very crucial card. But yeah, that's it for the hand traps. They all stop LP. That's the goal. And then the spells, the one Sanctuary, one Will. This was originally another backup secretary, but I saw a lot of the lists at the Worlds playing Will, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll give that a shot. So I gave it a shot, and oh my god, this card was amazing. It just lets you play through so many hand traps, so many different things, and oh my god, just even when you don't like need to use it, like just using the Soul Charge effect to summon more monsters is amazing because you'll just have more monsters and it'll be harder to kill you, and then you can make more plays next turn. One circle. It was so nice having 3 of these at the World Celebration event, and I have no idea why this card's at 1 now, but I don't know why they hit both Gazelle and this, but that's I'm not Konami, so yeah. And then, unfortunately, now I feel like you have to play 3 of these. Again, this is a little more of a pricey side of the deck. If you don't want to buy these, play Sign Up Backdoor. That card is really good. I was watching some replays with Sign Up Backdoor because my friends were telling me about it, and it's really a really good card. As soon as you activate the Stalio, you chain it to the Stalio, and then you banish the Stalio, search the Gazelle, and then since the material under the Stalio is sent to the graveyard, well, first you're going to summon your Jaguar, and then you're going to reveal the Gazelle and just summon it, and then send a trap, which I think is really cool, and I was debating giving that a shot myself, but I just feel like the card is flawed because you need to get to the Stalio, which you can't always do in your opening hands, so that's why I just wanted to play the 3 mining, but definitely give it a shot if you don't want to buy mining, so yeah. And then 2 Call by the Graves because it's really hard for this deck to play through hand traps now, as dumb as that is because Gazelle's at 1 and Circle's at 1. So Ash on your Circle or Ash on your Gazelle can sometimes just end your turn, or Ash on a Sign Up Mining just hurts you so much. As much as you would never want to hit Ash with this card because Ash is really important. Your hand traps are really important to your deck. You don't want to turn one of them off for your opponent's turn. That's what I don't like about Call by the Grave. So that's why I hate this card in the deck. It's also really bad in the mirror match because you want to use the cards on your turn. I know you can like Call by the Grave there, Sunlight Wolf after you've already used yours, but still that implies you went second, and I hate going second. But this deck can do both, go first and second. So yeah. This card I just don't think is that good in the deck, but unfortunately I think you have to play it now because the deck cannot play through hand traps as easily. And then for the traps, one Roar, Double Rage. I do like 3 because you want to see this card. You want to see the traps in your opening hand because you can't always search them anymore. So that's why you do play 2 Rage, but I was doing this before the ban list because you want to see Rage in your opening hand because it's an out to Mystic Mine. And even now, more than ever, because Sky Striker didn't get hit, and it's one of the best decks, and they play Mystic Mine. Typically, the players at my locals say it's not as good against Salamangreat, but still, you want to have that out to it because there's a lot of other stupid Mine decks in the format, like you'll just encounter, like Mine Burn or Mine Exodia, like who knows. But yeah, Roar I don't feel like is as good as the others, but you need it just so you don't get evenly matched. And I like 3 Rage just because seeing this card is never bad. It means you can search this or make a Dweller more often. Right, great. And then 2 Impermanents. I'm probably going to cut these. The main reason is they conflict with Phantasme, so I do think I'm going to cut them. I want to play a Foolish Burial and a 3rd Rage, so I think that's what I'm going to do is just cut these for a 3rd Foolish Burial, for a Foolish Burial and a 3rd Rage. But other than that, they're just another way to stop LP, so they're pretty good. And they can't get called by the grave, which is really good. And other than that, for the World Celebration event, I cut these 2 for 2 MSTs, and I cut the 3rd Ash and the 2nd Jack Jaguar for the 2 circles of the Salamangreat circle. So yeah, that's how the list changed. And then this is the nice field center. Look how pretty it is. For the extra deck, this is literally the most basic thing of all time. 2 Heatleos, 3 Sunlight Wolves, and 3 Balinks. I don't think this will ever change unless something happens on the ban list. I know some people like 2 Balinks, but I don't like that. And everything else here is just really standard. Haida, the card's really good, and especially in the mirror and stuff. Update Jammer Transcode, I like this combo a lot. It catches a lot of people off guard, and Striker really can't deal with it as easily as they think they can because it can't be targeted, and when you attack into one of their link monsters, you just make it its original attack, and you'll attack over it because these are both bigger than the link ones, and you'll deal an extra 1,000 damage after you kill them in battle. So that's really good. Update Jammer is a hugely underrated card. And then the one Avermax, because I actually prefer it over Borreload, except for against Thunder, because Borreload is completely better than Avermax versus Thunder Dragons. I've actually played against a lot of Danger Thunder decks, and Avermax, I've summoned it every time, but Borreload would have just been such a better option. And Borreload just keeps coming up. But I do like Avermax a lot against everything else that I don't really want to play Borreload over him. But I'm probably going to switch back to Borreload at some point in the future. Like, if I were to take this deck to an event, I'd probably play Borreload over Avermax, just because I'd expect to see a lot more Thunder, because Thunder didn't get hit, and all the good players are going to be playing Thunder. Whereas at a local, you're going to see a bunch more random stuff, so I just keep the Avermax in there. I love the card. I think it's really good, especially against Striker, because Striker has a difficult time outing this. A lot of decks have a difficult time outing this that you wouldn't expect, so yeah, that's it for the links. And then for the Exceeds, one Stalio, Tornado Dragon, and Dweller. The only reason I played Tornado is just because I wanted a rank 4 that did something against the decks that Dweller sucked against, so that's why I put it in there. But I'm definitely going to cut it for a second Stalio with the Rocket Structure deck coming out, because they have a card in there that banishes cards from your extra deck, and if I were to lose my one Stalio, that would be terrible. So yeah, I don't know if they play it, but still, could happen, especially with the deck being new. And that's it for the extra deck. Like I said, very, very basic. And then for the side deck, this is really basic too. One Foul, this is just for time. I put this in for the World Celebration event, typically just because it was a slower format, and I figured there'd be a lot of Striker, which means a lot of long games, which means when you go to Game 3, you're going to need something like this to just win you the game in time. That's the only reason I have it in there. 2 Pankratops. This was a 2 for the World Celebration event, so I just kept it that way anyway, because siding 3 I don't think is that good, because you'll draw multiples and that'll be bad. And then 3 Gammas and the Driver. I think this is the best hand trap right now, because it not only gets rid of the thing you negate, but it also can't get called by the grave, which is really strong about Gamma, is it both destroys the thing you're negating and can't be called by the grave. So against like Guard Dragons, again, like LP, you'll negate and destroy it, and then they might not be able to make the Heretic Seal thing because you got rid of one of the Guard Dragons, and it will just cripple their plays because they need the 2 Link Arrows, and without LP, they probably don't have them. And then I also side 3 Twin for Striker and any Mystic Mind deck. Imperial Order, again, for Striker and Mystic Mind. For some reason, people don't know this card is really good against Mystic Mind, but it is. It wins you the game. It's an auto-win. And then Artifact Scythe and 3 Sanctum. I just sided these because I figured the deck would need something for when it goes first against any combo deck to just say, I drew this, I win the game, and that's what this card is. If you draw this against any combo deck, you will literally win the game if you went first, and you draw a decent hand of like spinning and a way to get to Gazelle or something like that. The reason being is because they can't summon from the extra deck, and the Guard Dragon decks like Dragonies and stuff don't have any main deck boss monsters that are really threatening. So basically, I was debating strikes over these, but strike isn't going to guaranteed end your opponent's turn. They can definitely still play through a strike. So I just was like, all right, 3 Sanctum, tell them they can't play, let's go. And the Scythe actually did win me a game because a Thunder player popped it and won me the game. So that was fun. And that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Please let me know what you think down in the comment section below. And yeah, I'm going to probably go back to playing a little bit more rogue options, especially with the deck being slaughtered on the balance. It's still playable, don't get me wrong. I still do amazing with the deck, but I'm definitely going to try and experiment with more rogue options. That's kind of what the ban list allowed us to do by nerfing Salamangreat. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, Rogue Scrubs out.